3 nodes called God's Commander with a Berserker enemy. Only 5 AP here, so given 5 AP and given it's 5 AP compared to the normal high AP, I'm guessing this is going to be a boss fight of some manner. What do we know? It's probably Nezha. I'm guessing it's Nezha. Section 10 Lostbelt, God's Commander. I believe she did call herself his commander as well, so makes sense, makes sense. And so far my prediction of it moving forward a day with each section is also holding true and steady. Good to know, good to know. Anger, fury, rage is all I've got. Goddamn bastard. Servant memories are weird. It doesn't matter if they're from before your current body's age or after. Everything that ever happened to you while you were alive comes flooding into your head all at once. They're simultaneously your own memories and the recollections of a complete stranger. Facts you know to be true and lies no more real than a dream. I think that's why I remember. Well, I know what I once did. I remember the end of the war, when I heard that cowardly plot succeeded and that my father had been killed. I remember when I heard that Bhima had cheated to inflict a fatal wound on Duryodhana, the oldest of the 100 Kaurava princes. Everything inside of me vowed that I would make them pay. Rage. I swore I would exact revenge on them by any means necessary. So I chose to sneak in under cover of the night and murder all my enemies in their sleep. You think that's cowardly, criminal, an affront to all that is good and just? I don't care, I don't care, I don't care! I was so angry I didn't care about anything else. I think that's when I threw away everything beside my fury. I let my fury swallow me whole until I was nothing more than a beast. A vessel of pure rage. To put it another way, that was the moment when Ashwatthana became no more than anger incarnate. So of course the peaceful scenery of Krita Yuga only infuriates him. The sweet scent pollen, the sun's gentle rays, the birds' happy chirping, his only response to it all is to grow even more enraged. Everything he sees and doesn't see makes him angry, but the things that anger him most are those he sees both constantly and never. He's always angry. Always. That sounds kind of sad. Why is he an archer and not a berserker? There we go. That takes care of the loss out of season, Kali. Guess you can't even go through the Krita Yuga without running into at least one. You know, there were always some dumb beasts up the mountains who'd forget to hibernate for the winter, too. I'd always hunt whenever I could see one. There's no telling what sort of trouble a dumb beast could get up to. Clearing away otherwise unfair or impossible obstacles is part of the job. Thank you for saving me, God. It showed up so suddenly and I haven't been praying since it's still Krita Yuga. Don't worry about it. And I'm not a god, just a hired hand. Oh, sorry. You don't have to worry about that either. Anyway, you did great holding it together. I'm proud of you. Oh man, I can't believe a god is putting me on my head. He just said he's not a god. Are you a god too? Admonishment, you are late for the meeting. I have no choice but to come get you. Whoops, isn't that time already? Sorry about that. Well, see you later, son. Oh, bye. Thank you again. Do you like kids? Who can say? Hey, sorry I'm late. I cannot believe you made me carry with my fire wheels. Well, I had a great time. Thanks for the thrill ride. Of course, a lot of those thrills were more chills at the idea of showing up here late. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not nearly important enough to keep a mythological hero waiting, let alone a god. Advice. There is no point in saying what you do not mean. Besides, you're something of a mythological hero yourself now. Anyway, I hate to steal the spotlight after showing up late to the party, but I got something to discuss. I was hoping Ashwatthana could help with this, but I guess he's not here. Answer. I cannot predict his actions. Our master allows him to act freely, thus I have no intention of picking him up. Guess I'll just have to talk to you guys about this then, if that's alright with you. Anyway, I just noticed a little while ago that there's fewer secret beasts in my area than there's supposed to be. Query, you think it's them? Probably. I'm guessing they have a way for surviving the big guy's noble phantasm. Don't you find it interesting, seeing as how you overcame death yourself? What? Don't be ridiculous. That's just reconstruction. It has nothing to do with the concept of death. I couldn't care less about it. So no, I don't find it interesting. Besides, I'm sure that guy there already knew. He just didn't say anything. Well, that's true. It's almost certainly the case that they managed to escape to a safe zone. Though regardless, the fact remains that interlopers who would interfere with God's sandbox, I mean his beautiful reign, have survived. That strikes me as a grave problem. A very grave problem indeed. No. There. As you can see, he agrees with me quite vehemently. Yet indeed, as Lokpala, whom you personally embedded with divinities, surely you understand that much without the likes of me spilling it out for you, no? Now then, what do you plan to do about this? Well, I've just been planning on pointing Ash Fataman again in that direction and letting him go nuts. But if he's not here, he must be off on another job. Yes, that he is. I believe he's dealing with a little unfinished business on our end. Guess that means we'll just have to take care of this ourselves then.
Proposal. I will go. Not only do I have time to address the issue, but I've also let them escape once. I will finish this.
Want some help?
No need.
Great. Less work for me. Just to be perfectly clear, I'm not going either. I've got plenty to keep me busy.
Response. I never expect you to come. Departing now. Wind, fire, wheels.
What a go-getter she is. How wonderful. What a pleasure to see such world-class mobility in a person. I'm sure you won't let us down, Kubera, Regent of the North.
I finally have another chance. I have changed since then. Resolution. I will not let them get away this time. I wish normal Nezha could speak in complete sentences.
Damn, so we can't even get close to the god Skyboulder. And here I thought this would be our big breakthrough. I was hoping we would find a way to take Arjuna down there. So much for that.
I knew it. I knew this wasn't gonna work out. It never fails on the rare occasion I ever try to actually put effort into something. I just end up getting reminded what a failure I am. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. Waste of space. It's not your fault it didn't work out, Ganesha. None of us expected there to be that many Kali there.
Exactly. Moping around won't do you any good, hun. Let's try to stay positive, Kay. I agree. Positive thinking.
For my part, I was essentially fighting this battle alone until all of you came along. Now there's a chance, even if it's just a small one, for us to go on the offensive. I think that's progress in itself. Why don't we rest up for a while? Maybe that'll help a good idea come to us. Lady Lakshmi, welcome back. Thanks for standing guard. Anything to note? No, everything's been the same as usual here. I see you're alarmed here, unlike Aji and other people in Bishu. I guess those rumors about you finding the Kali instead of praying were true. You must be Lady Lakshmi's companions. Yes, that's right. I'm afraid Lady Lakshmi had to explain it to us many times before we understood, but eventually we realized that there's something strange about this world, that we didn't like it here. This has been the way things were as long as you've known. I'm sure it wasn't easy to see them differently. I think I once had someone I loved more than anything, but I can't even remember their name or their face. Whoever it was must have been killed by a Kali in a past Yuga. Anyone who Arjuna considers to be defective, unnecessary, or evil disappears when the new Yuga begins, as if they never existed. But it makes sense that it would be exceptionally complex to adjust every single parameter in the world that pertained to that people who disappeared. I guess not even Arjuna can completely erase their remnants, the holes they leave behind in the hearts of the people who cared for them. Some have realized they lost someone when they saw the gifts their loved ones gave them in their homes. At first, it only feels like something is vaguely off, but in time you start to remember them more clearly, especially if they left behind any letters, which some did. Oh, so there's a way around. There's a way to cheat the system. Nice. Oh my, that's surprisingly careless of him, leaving behind so many physical records like that, although maybe Koyan is the one behind the sadistically cruel touches like that. I certainly wouldn't put it past her. Man, only being able to remember someone you care about sounds rough. That is way worse than Asha just forgetting about her dog. Yes, it's painful not being able to remember someone who once meant so much to you. Unbearably so. That's why I decided to fight back. I think everyone else in our village more or less feels the same. Lady Lakshmi is the one who taught us to fight. Any friends of hers are friends of ours. Please, come inside. We didn't have much, but you're welcome too. I appreciate the kind offer, but it's better if we stay out of your village for now. Indeed. Oh, don't misunderstand. We're very happy to accept your invitation. But we can't very well bring along another guest who is definitely not invited. Update. Target spotted. Nezha. Warning. Do not call me that. You may know another Nezha, but I'm not her. Yeah, she's right. This isn't the Nezha you know, or the one we came here with. She's still Crown Prince Nezha, Marshal of the Center Altar, but this one serves as Arjuna as one of his Lokpala. So that is one of the false god servants. The rumors I've heard say they'd like to brag about how he shared his divine power with them. Affirmation, yes. He has given us each one of his many divinities. If he is a false god, then so are we. Conclusion, that is all I need to know. If you refuse to obey his laws, then I cannot stand idly by. Assertion, divine punishment is required here.
Alright, let's get this party started. Alright, Branchino, it's time. This is your time to shine. You said she ran off to pursue you back in the mountain where you found Ganesha, yes? Then your job is to draw her attention away from us once more.
I'm pretty sure that's not gonna work now. Last time she didn't see you guys as a threat. I don't think that's the case anymore. Affirmation, that man is no longer my sole target. You are now all equally high priority targets. I will not let any of you escape. See? But why? If you are a different aspect of it, for that was summoned or was embedded with the divinity, you're still Nezha, aren't you? And the Nezha we knew was always at a strong sense of justice. In this world, the only measure of something's value is whether God deems it worthy or not. He's the sole arbiter of what should and shouldn't be. I think that's inherently unjust. It disparages the value in feelings, memories, life and death alike. So then how can you? Oh my, that was certainly heartfelt. She really has learned to express her anger. You're a product of mankind's arrogance and rationalism, so I'm glad to see such emotion from you. It makes me a bit nervous. Your innocence was your greatest source of strength. Once that's gone, what will you have gained instead? Nezha, please tell me something. What do you think of this world? Answer unnecessary. Commencing attack.
Get ready. She doesn't like it here either.
You got it, Master? Well, I can't let you return to your false god now that you know of our village. Prepare to die.
You do realize saying stuff like that totally makes you sound evil, right? Anyway, Nezha's a figure in the journey of the West and the investiture of the gods, right? I think some people also call her Nazha. Oh man, I can't believe I'm up against someone so famous. Then again, I guess Ganesha's right up there too, huh? Alright, fine. I'll just put in a pico effort, like usual. Pico effort. Pico. Yeah, it's a word I came up with. It means my unusual weakness to try, my usual helplessness, my wish to avoid responsibility. It's basically all sorts of feelings rolled up into one big old mess, okay? Get with it. Alright, so we are up against Nezha, who is Bazaka. We will, of course, bring along somebody, but somebody will not be our main choice here. Our main choice is going to be Abby. Being the berserker killer that she be. However, Abby does not like causing pain, so only in these instances does Abby go into Final Ascension when she doesn't feel bad for inflicting pain upon her foes. After this battle, it's right back down to base form for Abby. Yes, yes, yes. It's only when she needs to bring out her strength that she's in this form. Okay. Endurance battle. Wind fire wheels, evasion, and a defense up. Pepe's backing, twist of love. So 6 total evasions. That's a lot. Not gonna lie, that is a lot of evasiveness. And also a straight up defense increase. Alright. Let's do Hysteria first. Guarded against the fear. Unfortunate, but expected. We'll get rid of 4 of those defenses now. Or those evasions now, rather. Protection of Tagada removes debuff. Oof. That's unfortunate. Alright, we should also probably get Faithful Prayer up here. And then have an Abby-centric turn. She's got her Buster next round, and her NP. We will penetrate through Nezha's first layer of protection right now. Evasion is down. Decent damage with crit. Okay. NP is obtained. Ooh. She inflicts burn. That's funny. Admittedly. Decrease her attack. She's hitting pretty decently.
pop that, because I'm not sure if Scotty's going to be surviving much longer, to be honest. And then, I guess, throw the heal on her. And the evasion on her as well. Alright. And then Abby can blast. Let's see what kind of damage we're looking at here. So... Only 86,000. That was a low ball hit. That was really low hit. And she's got HP recovery now. Lovely. Now, mind you, I didn't do a full power blast here, but I still did a decent one, so... Let's... I mean, we should be able to break this first bar here. Looks like we'll have to break it with the NP as well. Universe Ring sure hits. Okay. So Scotty's thing is just gonna be defensive in nature. Somewhat, at least, so... Let's do it in this order. Slightly higher damage cut from Scotty, I think, is for the best. Also, I think bringing Abby here was thematically appropriate as well, because, you know, I'm pretty sure she likes Nezha as a friend, and seeing this evil version of Nezha, you know, I feel like that would trigger Abby's inner rage and bring her full strength out. That's my reasons for this. Alright, that's one bar broken. Taoist Technique A. Again with the burn. People are gonna start going down here soon. As long as we can last to the next round, Abby and Merlin will have invincibility protection against whatever this noble phantasm is. There goes Merlin. There goes he. Alright, we can still do some stuff here. Let's reduce the potency, or not. So much for reducing the potency of that noble phantasm. Abby, go as hard as you can. We're gonna suffer a big hit here. I'm just trying to think. Abby's doing good, but maybe it was just bad card luck that got us here. I think it was just poor card luck, really. No audio NP. And there goes those three. Mash and Ganesha versus Nessa. I mean, they're both tanky, at the very least, you know? Oh, boy. Thriving business. Damage cut for self with Broken Tusk. And the audio desync has happened again. Lovely. 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 Do that as well. Why did the audio desync happen this time? I know it kind of glitched out there for a moment, but... No? That's just annoying. Yin Yang Sword. Oh, you son of a biscuit!
Okay, maybe it's not a glitch, he just doesn't have any audio. 98,000 points of damage to Mashu. That's just mean. Oh. We must have just had to survive that. Yin Yang sword. Okay. So this was not a battle we could win. Good to know. Good to know, because I was already trying to think of possible ways to buff Abby up enough to get through. And then at Thavar, it's... it might still be the fight. I don't know. But again, the audio desync. I hate that I have to keep doing this. It's like, kind of starting to tick me off now. That's twice that the audio desync happened. That's very annoying. And now there's no... Oh, that's why Reflector crashed. Oh, freaking lovely. What is going on here? What is going on? Alright, we got the audio here at least. There we go. Let's continue here. Alright, God's Commander. Just because I am cautiously worried that we're about to be facing a second verse, same as the first situation, I'm going to just keep Abby in her form here, because we're probably going to just be fighting Nessa again! However, I'm gonna keep this set up. Gosh, the screen's off a little bit. There we go. Janeka's just screamed, how can she have so many noble phantasms? What's going on here? I don't think those are noble phantasms. They're probably Bobai, depicted in the investiture of the gods, so I can understand why she has them. But the Nessa knew no one never exhibited this kind of fighting ability. There's something else going on here. She did say that Arjuna shared one of his divinities with her. I suspect the key lies there. This is no natural divine spirit amalgamation, like we've seen with Sitanai. This is the case of divine elements simply being fused into an existing being. As difficult as it may be to believe, if one of Arjuna's divinities is truly able to coexist with the seventh spirit origin, that would indeed explain this remarkable increase in her power and abilities. Assuming you gave her one of the Lokpala reagents text with defending different directions, I'd say Kura is probably the top of the list. Kuber is the god of wealth and treasure, so that would explain why she has such an abundance of power now. Never heard it. Not well known in your neck of the woods, huh? Trust me, he's a very important god in India. There are all sorts of stories about him, but they all agree that he was the guardian of the north. He was also known as Dhanapati, the lord of wealth, and as Vaisravana, the son of Vishrava. Though in Japan he may be better off known as Tamoten or Bishamonten. Kubera, I think he was Ravana's half-brother. As I recall, he battled Ravana only to lose both the fight and control over the island of Lanka. And in that case, he has some connection to me as well, or rather to Sita. Also, maybe that's why he's such a good match for Nez. Request, shut up. There is no need to explain. We are here to fight. Still, I will tell you one thing. The divinity of the god of wealth does reside within me. Declaration, therefore this can only end in defeat. Oh boy. Oh crap, is another OP item? No fair, she's decked out in legendary gear and I'm still my starting equipment. Gods have immense power far beyond ordinary beings, that's what makes them gods. If this Nessa really has been given a divinity, it would definitely explain how she got so absurdly strong. Motes of light. But it's so sad I can barely stand to watch. Yeah, I can barely stand to watch you guys probably get slaughtered again! Yay! Okay. What gimmick is there now? 3 bars. Still. Baja. she doesn't have the straight-up evasion to start things out with. So that's something. But how big of an attack down is... that's the question here. Okay, it's not tremendous, but it is still noticeable. Overload. Oh.
Oh my. We might have a way to deal with this.
Alright, let's start with Mass Hysteria. Guarded against that, but not the defense down. Let's lower her attack. And get rid of that extra charge. And then let's start with Faithful Prayer. Get a heal on Scotty. And Arts Chain from Abby will lead to her NP. The attack down is unfortunately permanent looking, so... Demon Slashing Sword. Overload again. Okay. I don't know what Overload is doing to her, but I'm happy about it. Get that defense down even further. And let's get an attack buff. And let's put the evasion on Scotty. Alright. Also, since there's a quick card in the mix... Alright. Let's go. See how this hits. See how it smacks. Better than last time. If the attack down wasn't hampering, I'm sure it would have been even stronger still, but what can you do? Demon Binding Rope. Trigger each turn debuff. Oh, you witch! That's not cool. Stun a single enemy at the end of each turn. That's so not cool. Pop the invents now. And then a Scotty Blast. Decent hits. I should have popped their skills as well. To give Abby a guaranteed NP here. Damn. I'm glad I didn't give give Abby the guaranteed NP because it would have gone to waste. Much like these crits are. Okay, so that reduced her to 1. Interesting, I'm not going to complain about it. Embroidered Sphere. Oh! That was an HP loss, and I'm pretty sure that stripped me of all my buffs. What just popped? Price of 3 heads and 6 arms just went off. Literally 1 HP left for this bar. It's cheesy, it's gimmicky, but I'm not going to complain. I will pop the evasion on Melt, just in case this triggers a break bar, or just in case the break bar triggers an charge, you know? Amplified damage is a defense down. Okay, no such luck. Melt still can evade this, though.
So that's good. Try to shield the Arousal. We're gonna risk it. Try and get that. We got the Melt Virus off. And... Melt Smash? Melt Abby Smash? Good hits, at the very least. She at least doesn't have sure hit, so the only one going down here is probably going to be Abby. Melt will survive through the evasion and mash through her invincibility. I should have probably put the target focus. Oh, it is on Melt, or on Mash, so she will certainly survive. And Ganesha. Leads to Melt Supremacy victory. Do that for safety's sake. And Melt Nessa away. It's not how I anticipated winning, and had it not been for the sudden break bars reducing to 1 HP, I probably would not have won. But I'm not gonna complain. Okay, battle finished. Mother Servant defeated. And just a Berserker Monument, or Piece. I can never remember the differentiating features between the two of them, unfortunately. While I am wise, I'm not all-knowing.
You noticed too, haven't you, Master? That fight was clearly...
Why, Nessa?
That was an incredible display of wealth and fortune. It almost makes me envy you, but...
You took it too far. Even with all your abundance, you were spending it faster than you could replenish it.
You know, I thought the way you were burning through your items seemed familiar. You were doing it on purpose.
You're not on your way to use more of your power than necessary. You made sure to use it so much so as not even a god of wealth could recover from the loss. Why?
Kubera is the god linked to my father. Huh?
In China, Crown Prince Neza's father is known as Chuo Li Tianwang, aka Pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li, aka Li Jing. And in Japan, Li Jing is considered to be the same as the figures I mentioned before, Tamanten and Bishamonten. There was a lot of cross-pollination between Taoist lore and Buddhist myth when it came to gods like these, so it can be difficult to make sense of. But the long and short of it is, we can be pretty sure that Li Jing and the Hindu god of Kubera are one and the same.
And I, of course, have a connection to my father. Confusion. There is something inside the jewel I hold in my chest. I do not know what to call these feelings I hold towards my father.
And that means what?
The details are a little different between Journey to the West and the Investiture of the Gods. But basically, Nessa was born with tremendous power and wrecked a lot of things even as a baby. Her father acted in anger and fear, and Nessa lost her body as a result. She was later reborn into new beings thanks to the Buddha Tai Zen. Well, the real story might be more complicated than that, but that's the accurate picture of the central relationships. Plus, they say Nessa's father is still afraid of her powers, so... I am Crown Prince Nessa, Marshal of the Central Altar. I am not Li Jing. It is therefore impossible for me to tell what I think and how I feel, now that both beings have been combined within me. But I can be certain about this. It is not right for Li Jing to exist inside Nessa. It is utterly preposterous. Truth, such a being can never be me. Truth, that is not how I meant to function.
That's why you burn yourself out. You couldn't accept what you've become.
But why take such a, roundabout approach to suicide? Good point. If you wish to end your life, you could have done so in a number of ways. For example, you could have fought back against the god who made you that way with all your might, since he trusted you enough to bestow you with power. You should have had plenty of chance to attack him if you chose. I considered that, of course, but deemed it impossible. His divine power is just too great. And if I lost, he might decide to erase my consciousness for being defective. Then I would truly become nothing more than a puppet with Nessa's body and Kubera's power. Conclusion. That would be a fate worse than death. If you ended up as a berserker thanks to that violent side of yours being the most prevalent in your manifestation, that would probably also mean that your feelings about your father are stronger and fresher than usual, Nessa. Which would explain why you just didn't want to deal with it. Yes, I tried not to think about it at first. I buried my feelings deep down and did my best to forget them. But then I saw her. Arniza. The moment I saw her, it felt like I had been cursed. I was overcome with rage and hatred and envy, so much so that I couldn't stop myself from destroying her. I could not stand the idea of another me, a truer me, being out there. I could not accept it, but destroying her did nothing to lift my curse. I could no longer ignore my incompleteness. I could no longer stand how ugly I was. That's why I did this. Elaboration. It was not you who destroyed me. I destroyed me.
She kind of did.
I can't say I approve of what you did, but I can understand it. That is fine. If nothing else, I was able to avoid the worst possible outcome. For that, I thank you. But I will not apologize. The one whom I should apologize is no longer here. The effect should just disappear. For the first time, I understand that logic. The defective Nizam, mixed with her father, will disappear. That is how it should be. Salvation. I will not return in the next Yuga.
You're a servant of the god. You have no right to say that. My lover's gone now. How dare you say they were defective? How dare you say they deserve to disappear?
Apology. I have no way of knowing that. All I am saying is, for those of us ashamed of our defectiveness, needing to disappear can be a kind of salvation. Hang on, if you're really grateful for us, then give us some info before you disappear. It can be about anything. Arjuna, the other Lokpala. Oh, we want to know more about the god Skyblock, too. That giant cube. Truth unknown. I know nothing about it either, nor do I know who might know something. Damn, I was afraid you'd say something like that. The Lokpala are servants that he has bestowed with divinities. If you defeat them, those divinities should disperse, like mine is. So we can whittle down their forces by taking them out, huh? That's definitely good to know. Whenever we inevitably face off with Arjuna, now having to fight 3 servants with godly power at the same time will be a huge help. Can you tell us anything about the other Lokpala? Answer. Ashwatthama is a special case. He goes around on his own, fighting battles in place of Arjuna. The others watch over different regions. They sometimes assemble under Arjuna's orders, but in general, they keep to their assigned area. There are only 3 Lokpala, so each one covers a wide swath of land. I do not know what happened to the gods who originally meant to guard the different directions.
There are supposed to be 8 Lokpala each for one of the cardinal directions. One of the divinities are still inside Arjuna because he doesn't need them. But what do all of you Lokpala do exactly, and what directions do you oversee?
Answer, we watch over people, guard against revolt, and take care of the sacred beasts. My territory stretches over everything from the north to the southeast. The old man handles everything from the north to the southwest. And the young man handles everything from the southeast to the southwest.
I feel like, somebody's getting the better deal out of the 3 of you, you know?
The old man is William Tell, an archer. The young man is Aesculapius, a caster.
Or Asclepius. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. And then a no battle section for God's Commander. Let's go. Hear her last bit of words before she vanishes into the ether. Asclepius.
Sweet, he got his true name. Asclepius is a hero known for being one of the Argonauts and for founding medicine as we know it today. It's too bad Alante's not here. She might have been able to tell us more about him.
And then there's William Tell, one of the most famous hunters in the world. So that's who that elderly man is. As a rule, servants are usually summoned in their prime. So his middle-aged appearance must be because that is the time in his life when his skills are at their true peak.
Interestingly, neither of these heroic spirits have any connection to India whatsoever. But now they've been given divinity and power of Indian gods. I wonder what effect that's had on their abilities. Answer. Unknown. I never paid much attention to their abilities. I did not need to. Oh, report. I have reached my limit. Outsider. No. Master of Chaldea. Maybe we will meet again, someday. And if we do, let it not be this defective version of me. I hope it will be the other, pure me.
Fair enough. We should listen to dying wishes. Just because a servant is given divine power, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll see it as a good thing. If anything, it was that power that made her see herself as ineffective.
Yes, even servants are no exception. Knowing what you need, what you don't, and what to keep, what to discard. I think everyone has to decide those things for themselves, because no 2 people are exactly alike. It's no one else's place to unilaterally choose for you, not even a god. You had every right to say what you did to that Lokpala. I can more than understand your anger at someone who desiring to cut themselves off from this world after everything they've been going around doing the same to others. All I'm saying is that the one serving God have their reasons as well. As that girl there just said, it's not right for a single entity, even a god, to make decisions for the entire world. That's right. Besides, the important thing is you and your comrades succeeded at defeating one of the Lokpala. This is cause for celebration. I'll go tell the others.
Party! Not only did you defeat one of the Lokpala, you even learned the true names of the other 2 servants. This is a most welcome turn of events, Soul. It feels like the car's infuriating blocking your way moved aside, and we finally got it to the floor and leave them in the dust. Now we just have to keep up our momentum and all the way to the finish line.
You're not really that good at gauging the mood, are you? We're not exactly celebrating here. No, wait. My god power is telling me what's really going on here. You did gauge the mood here and just ignored it. Mates like me aren't good at that sort of social stuff. Though I guess you could also call it a pretty minor skill.
Would you mind not psychoanalyzing me right where I could hear you, especially when you're going to be so spot on? As the commander, I merely offered my assessment of the present situation.
A servant doesn't get to choose who summons them. While this was very unfortunate for Nessa, it worked out for us. If she hadn't purposely worn herself down, I don't think we could have avoided taking some heavy losses.
True enough.
I agree. I don't feel like we won as much as she let us win.
Nessa was a special case, and she just happened to have a special connection to the divinity which she was given. I don't think we can count on anything similar happening with the Lokpala who don't have any ties to India.
Agreed. Ashwatthama was a significant threat even when we were only trying to get away. His regenerative abilities and his immortality were both on a scale I've rarely seen. As for the other servants, we should assume they're at least as powerful as Nessa would have been if she'd made better use of Kubera's power, if not more so.
We'll figure it out. We always do.
That said, I can't tell if you're deliberately trying to stay positive or just a hopeless optimist. Still, if nothing else, at least we made a little bit of progress. Eliminating one of the divinities under Ajna's control is a victory no matter how you look at it. Though, of course, it's still too early to say how much value or significance this victory portends. Actually, now that you mention it, I think I do feel a little lighter. That indescribable pressure we've felt hindering us in this world. That strange feeling that something is off, that's been preventing us from finding our footing. It feels like it's not quite as bad now.
It seems safe to assume that eliminating one of the Lokpalas improved the state of the world somehow. Needless to say, if we're going to defeat Arjuna, we'll need to reduce his overwhelming power and find a way to draw out more of our own. If eliminating Lokpala can achieve it both at once, it would truly be killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Forget birds or stones, at this point that looks to be our only possible path to victory, period. So I guess we'll just have to make our way down it a little bit at a time. Journey of 1,000 miles and all that. In other words, our next course of action is to try and take out all the other Lokpala. And luckily, now we know where we can probably find them. Sure, they may just be very general directions, but it's still better than having no lead at all. Plus, I bet the towns and villages in those areas will know something.
The town in this area didn't seem to know much about Nezha, though. Sounds good to me.
Well, according to Nezha, Ashwatthama moves freely around on his own, so going after him won't be an option. So the question is, who do we pursue first? William Tell or Asclepius?
That's a no-brainer. The archer is clearly the higher priority target.
Oh, why is that?
Isn't it obvious? We can't have him sniping Soul now, can we? He's the cornerstone of our whole operation here, after all. I may be personally blessed by the goddess of fortune, but Soul there is the one holding the key to our victory. Therefore, we should take out that archer first to eliminate the risk of Soul being taken out at a distance and ensure his safety.
I understand how you feel, but I'm not certain this choice is so clear-cut. We shouldn't let our king rush headlong into danger just because we're wary of their rook.
No, I understand. It's a question of who has the greater advantage. The fact is, we currently have no servants who excel at mid to long-range combat. Every member in our current lineup is a close to mid-range fighter. If we were to go after the archer first, we could end up struggling to pin him down, only to have him really throw a wrench in the works by calling in reinforcements.
Agreed, that is a distinct possibility.
Casters, on the other hand, tend to be excellent mages, but they are certainly not known for their prowess in battle. Being an excellent mage doesn't automatically make you an excellent warrior, after all. No, most casters fight by laying cunning traps and collecting information outside of battle to stack the deck in their favor. So in a head-to-head brawl, they're likely to fall in 1 step behind compared to an archer. If we can drag them into such a brawl, we have a good chance of defeating them. Essentially, our goal would be to reduce the enemy's forces by going after the weaker opponent first.
That would leave the archer's threat looming over us, but that has been no less true this whole time. I believe we can minimize the risk by taking measures against any attempts at sniping and eliminating the caster as quickly as possible.
Then it's settled. We'll go after the caster first.
I can't believe it.
What can't you believe? As a fellow chubster, I demand an explanation.
I'll have you know, I'm only I only have all this extra weight out of respect for Ganesha. Anyway, I was just surprised that you were acting like a decent commander for once. You really do know the difference between servant classes, don't you, Gachi?
Gachi? Does that mean she thinks I'm like Carl Gotch, the indisputable god of pro wrestling? Oh, Gordy. She probably doesn't even know who that is. Oh, poor Gordy. Yeah, that's a rather elegant nickname you come up with there, young lady. I appreciate it. But to be clear, I've been studying this sort of thing ever since I knew I was going to be the next director of Chaldea. After all, it would be quite the farce if Chaldea's top brass didn't know the first thing about its current crucial heroic spirit summoning system. Isn't that right, Chirolite?
Instructor, I know you've been studying diligently every day since we left Russia.
Oh, what? No, I've known all these things all along. I'm nothing if not a capable commander, after all. Regardless, I now easily know just as much as a newly minted master. Furthermore, I've also taken another look at Soul's reports. By this point, I can quickly calculate each class's traits, the cost of summoning a given servant, and the amount of strain produced on the nervous system by the Mystic Code. With just one hand and common pocket calculator. Incidentally, Soul, you'll be getting hungry in about 3 hours, so make sure you have some rations ready to go. Well, he is certainly efficient.
He's even calculated the right master recurrence calories.
Yes, very impressive. Now can we get back on track? So we'll be going after Asclepius first. Nessa said he's in the charge of the south, but how do we go about finding him?
I'm told there's a town in the south, and his job includes keeping an eye on the people in this region. There's a strong chance he'll show up there. In that case, we should be able to ask some questions in this village to find it. Okay, sounds like a plan to me.
Good. Alright, so your next mission is to head south, find the Caceres, Asclepius, and defeat him.
Oh, and don't worry. Yours truly, the beautiful Miss Da Vinci, will be holding an extensive lecture on Greek heroes to give you something to listen to on the way. Yay! Greek hero lecture time!
But that is section 10 complete. Rest in peace, Nezha. I was gonna say Blanco, but she's not Nezha the White, you know. Effective unforgiving world weakened by the fate of Lokpala Nezha.